And of course, it was the same with One Life. We did the first interracial romance.
Right.
And did it purposely. I mean, for 5 months the audience thought Carlo was white.
Right, I remember that.
And so we thought that would, and it did make a lot of people examine their prejudices, but we got a letter from a man in Spokane, Washington, who said he wanted to protest that white girl kissing the black doctor. And then it was after about 4 months on the show, and he said at the end of the letter, he said, "But I'm getting confused. If she turns out to be black, I want to protest her kissing the white doctor."
Could make him happy no matter what.
No, I mean, but that's what's sometimes so fascinating. But for the most part.
But I mean, it was sort of very courageous of you, I guess, to try to just put these stories out there and see, you know.
Well, that was, I suffered from atavistic guilt, having grown up in Nashville, Tennessee. And when I was a child, I sat on the bus and distinguished black people walked past me to stand.
Right.
And I had to do it, you know.
So even as like sort of as a child growing up, you saw that, and you saw it inherently as something is unfair here. And
it was terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I think the important thing, I can do any story if finally we understand why.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully then the audience understands why, and relates it to their own life. That's what we've gotten, maybe amazingly, maybe not, about Erica, that the women understand. I mean, it's just amazing.
And she's also sort of, I guess, like what you were saying before about an archetype, she's some sort of like wish fulfillment character almost for women, I think.
Wish fulfillment, but not because she's glamorous and beautiful, but because she's lived her life, taken her lumps.
Right.
And, you know, so that audiences, women can say, and men too, she's done a lot of bad things, but what she suffers is worse than she's done to anyone else. The floor, printed on both sides, but I thought, what is that? I picked it up, and it was one scene between Mona and Erica that was aired January 12th, 1970. And I sent it to Susan, and she called me and she said, "Are you sure you didn't write this last week?" And we're going to do it.
Oh.
I mean, just, I don't know where. We're going to be on The View, we're going to New York Times, doing stuff, but it.
Right. Now, actually, speaking of All My Children, again, going back to your issue-oriented storylines, obviously one of the most famous is one of the early, well, actually, I guess the first abortion story on television.
Oh, yeah, Erica.
Yeah. And that was about 1973, I think? I guess it was the same year that Roe v. Wade happened, later in the year.
We started it right after Roe versus Wade was decided.
Right.
But one can't win. I mean, the pro-lifers, of course, were against this.
Oh. And
the pro-choice said, you shouldn't have had Erica have the abortion, you should have had Nurse Ruth, the better guy. So you can't win.
No. But,
you know,
it's amazing how personal the responses you get from your stories.
Oh, well, and then you get some crazies,
yeah.
too.
Well, of course. But I mean, you're not afraid to go to those issues. So when you do the issues, you're going to get the crazies. I mean, sometimes.
Well, there was
the extremes on both sides.
Do you want to hear a really crazy?
Let's hear it.
It was some years ago, but I kept getting letters from a woman in Newport News, Virginia, saying, you know what you did to me, and what are you going to do about it? Anyway, she finally called one Sunday afternoon, which is why we now have an unlisted phone number.
Smart.
And I said, what is your problem? She said, well, you got me pregnant. You sent sperm down in my food, and I've been pregnant for 2 years. I said, that is a problem. And she said, and I haven't told my mother yet. Anyway, I got off the phone, and I said to my husband, well, it looks as if we're going to have a 5th baby. And he said, yeah, but you're the father.
Oh, my gosh. Wow.